this thing on? Yep, it's on. Hey guys and girls, it's your girl Judy O, aka Green Fire Motivation, and I am excited because it is Thought Bank Thursday, where I share from my thoughts to yours. And so, I'm not going to ask any questions today. I am going to do a bit of reflecting, a little bit of transparency. So, as I'm embarking on this theme of the month, which is the back to school theme, hashtag back to school, it is August of 2022, and most children, whether in high school, elementary, pre-K, college, continuing college, or some form of educational arena, we're all getting organized. We're all getting organized. And so Motivation Monday, I actually spoke about the importance of a planner and how it's your foundation to having a successful year, whether it's school, whether it's just organizing your thoughts in general. And so on Wednesday, which was yesterday, Wordivation Wednesday, I spoke about the word organize. And I strongly advised that you should get on board with the whole world as they organize so that you won't feel as though you're the only one doing it. And the Wordivation word was, in fact, organize. And so today I just kind of wanted to delve a little bit into something that I mentioned on Monday when I talked about your planner being the ice cream cup and the feel-good emotion of finishing something ahead of time. And so I want to share with you all the moment that I realized how important a planner was, not only to a teacher, but also to a student and also to anyone who's looking to be organized. And so all these years I've had planners, I haven't really stressed the importance of them up until now, because it was when I became a pre-K teacher that I realized how important it was to be organized, because not only do you need to be organized for yourself, but you also need to be organized for your students. Because when you come to school and you're not organized, that deems you unprepared for the day's lesson as well as the day's additional activities. As something as simple as transitioning can become a complete disaster without having a plan in place on how you're going to handle that. And so organizing a schedule, is one big piece of being in a classroom with 18 pre-K students, right? And so I am also a Sunday school teacher. And so I also teach Bible study on occasion. And so this particular scenario, I was actually working on a Bible study lesson, and my pastor reached out to me a couple of weeks before time and asked if I was available to teach Bible study. And so he sent me the information that I needed to work on. And what I did differently, as opposed to before, I actually started looking at the information immediately. It was about roughly 12 pages of a book. And so what I started doing was I started reading the information immediately. But what I did was I broke it down. Instead of trying to sit down and read all 12 pages at once, I would read, either half a page or a whole page at a time and give myself time to digest the information, to process the scriptures and all of that good stuff. And so I continued doing that all the way up until it was the weekend before the day of the Bible study lesson that I had to teach. And so I went to my favorite spot, which I'm not going to tell you guys what that is, but my favorite spot. Anybody who knows me know where my favorite spot is. And so this is a 24-hour spot. So I went to this favorite spot of mine where I seem to be able to concentrate the most. And I got there, I think it was around 10 o'clock at night. And I was like, I'm not leaving this place until I get this finished. I literally said that to myself. So I got there at 10 and I started working on the Bible study lesson. Meanwhile, I had already, been preparing myself through reading, a page a day or a half a page a day, and thinking on and gleaning on and meditating on, the different scriptures, the revelations that were a part of the scriptures from the book, and so on and so forth. So when I sat down to do or to complete the learning of the Bible study lesson, I was just determined that I was to the point where I needed to finish. And one of the things that I talked about, on Monday was being able to finish an assignment or get a goal accomplished ahead of time. So for me, I stayed in that restaurant because I even fell asleep, y'all. Now I know. Somebody's going to look at this video, one of my friends, and say, you know good and well, you're not supposed to fall asleep in the restaurant. So that's why my eyes are closed, because I'm not looking at you right now. But I fell asleep in the restaurant in front of the laptop. And when I woke up, I finished the lesson. So I left that place somewhere around 4 a.m. the next morning. So I think I got a good 2-hour nap. But now, just for the record, it was a safe place for me. So the fact that I fell asleep, I didn't feel unsafe. I didn't feel like I was in danger or anything like that, for the record. But the biggest point here is that I finished the Sunday school lesson ahead of time. Not Sunday school. I finished the Bible study lesson ahead of time. So I finished it on Sunday night. Well, technically it was Saturday night, Sunday morning. I finished it. And then I didn't have to teach it until Wednesday. So technically from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, technically I had 3 days. I finished it 3 days in advance, which allowed me to go back over the information even after I had finished it. But the reason why I'm telling you guys this story is because the revelation that I got from finishing that assignment early, it made me think about all the other times where I had received assignments, whether it was Sunday school, whether it was Bible study, whether it was a school assignment, whether it was a work assignment, and I thought about all the times that I had been through so much frustration where, my stress levels were through the roof because I was trying to get something finished at the last minute. And anybody who's ever tried to get something finished and together at the last minute knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's stressful. You get annoyed real easy. You start snapping at people for no reason. Not because they did anything, but because they may have said or did something that deterred you from doing what you were supposed to be doing at that moment in time. Something as simple as sitting at a light too long could make you just fly off the handle. Or something as simple as, someone gets in front of you in line and they got 50 things in their cart and you only have one thing. Simple things like that would just make your anxiety level, your frustration level, even your anger level just go through the roof, only because you're stressing over that one thing that there's a deadline on and you don't get any more time after that. I thought about how many times I had been through that process. And it's just like, didn't you know the last 5 times that you should have started a week before? You should have started 2 weeks before? Didn't you know that if you had broke this thing down into small bits and pieces that you would have been able to get it accomplished without having to wait till the last minute? Didn't you know that? And the answer is yes, I knew that, but I just didn't take advantage of that. So I knew that I should have started sooner. I just didn't. And then on the other hand, I would say, oh, well, I got time. I got enough time. Oh, I'm going to go out with my friends. I got enough time. Or I'm going to watch this movie. I got enough time. Or I got to clean my house first. I got enough time. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Say it with me. Excuses. Type that in the comments. Excuses. That's what they are. Because at the end of the day, if you had 3 weeks to get an assignment and there's no reason for the assignment not to be completed, if not the week before, a minimum 2-3 days before. Now, granted, there's an exception to everything. There's an exception to every scenario. If it's an assignment that, you got to write a 30-page book or something like that. Okay, maybe you won't get that done in 3 weeks. But I'm just saying, like, most of the, the things deadlines that we have on our calendars, for different things to take place, we usually have enough time to complete it. But we'll say, I don't have the time. No, it's not that you don't have the time. It's that you didn't spend the appropriate time on what you needed to complete in the appropriate time frames, as I spoke about on Monday, to get that completed. It's not that you didn't have the time, you just didn't take advantage of the time you had. Ooh, that was an emerald. I gotta say it again. It's not that you didn't have the time, it's just that you didn't take advantage of the time that you had. And so now you find yourself, stressed out, straining, struggling, complaining to everybody about what you couldn't get done and why you couldn't get it done. Why? Because you didn't prepare yourself. You didn't take the time to say, okay, I need to get this done. This is due in 3 weeks. How much time do I need to allot per day so that I can get this done? How many hours do I need to allot 2 or 3 times every week so I can get this done? How much focus time can I spend on this item every other week so that I can get it done? It's all about organizing your time. That's really what it boils down to. I promise you, that's what it boils down to. And you'll see, I started reading this book. It's called, hold on, matter of fact, let me get it 1 second. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so I started reading this book, right? And this book is called The Tiny Habits That Change Everything. Can you guys see that? The Tiny Habits That Change Everything. Now, here's the deal. Granted, we have heard, we've had people that we love and that care about us, give us advice several different ways, the same advice in several different ways. But why don't we listen to them? It's not that we don't want to. I don't know. Maybe it's just not the time to. I don't know. I don't know that there is a good answer for that. But reading this book, it broke down the psychology of tiny habits. And so in reading this book, I came to understand, and it's not that I didn't understand before, but for whatever reason, it just hit different for me. Maybe it's because it's the season in my life where my mind is growing and is open to trying things differently the way that I have not tried them before. Maybe that's it. I'm not saying it's a good excuse. I'm just attempting to understand why, even though my friends have told me certain things, I wasn't able to grasp it when they gave the advice to me. But breaking these projects down into little bitty pieces, I promise you, it's like that cup of ice cream, because that feeling that you get, that feeling that I got when I had completed that Bible study lesson 3 days in advance, man, it was, I've never been to heaven, but I could say it was like heaven, because all of that stress, it's just like mounting up to the test. The test is coming. You know it's coming. And for a lot of people, when you don't study for a test, that's when you have the most anxiety about it. That's when you stress about it. You feel like you got to stay up all night, just to pass the test. Why? Because you weren't studying the last 30 days. That's why you had to stay up all night to pass the test. Just saying. Or you just had a lot of stuff on your plate. And it happens. But nevertheless, the test was always coming. Just like the Bible study lesson. My pastor, Apostle Charles Lewis, he actually reached out to me. It was 3 weeks in advance. So I knew this was the deadline. There was no question about whether Bible study at 7 p.m. on a Wednesday night was going to come on that day. It was coming. It was all up to me to prepare, to be prepared ahead of time. And when I did that, the feeling, it was the most amazing feeling ever. And Green Fire Motivation wants that for you. I want you guys to experience the bliss of finishing something ahead of time. And that's the reason why this is Back to School August, Back to School theme. That's what the reason for the theme is. Because I want you guys to experience that bliss of being organized. I want you guys, man, it taste it and see. It's like the sweetest watermelon. Taste it and see. It's like the cheesiest macaroni and cheese. It's like the crispiest slice of pizza. The best fried chicken. I'm trying to tell you. Okay, so I'm done. This is Thought Bank Thursday, where I share my thoughts to yours. You know, get organized, get things completed in advance so that you can experience the bliss, the non-stress, the non-chaos of getting something done ahead of time. This your girl, Green Fire Motivation, aka Judy O, on Thought Bank Thursday, where I share from my thoughts to yours. If you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button. Let me know what you thought of this video. I will see you guys on Motivation Monday. Bye!